I'm making a game called Crackheads, and I've had a ton of progress since the last beta. With 28 feedback form submissions, it was clear. The game had no direction, people didn't know what to do. The minigames were fun, but almost a distraction from the real problem. What was Crackheads? Well, my last video got deep into this issue, and even there it was obvious. I still didn't really know what the game was, and some of you called me out for it. Rightfully so. It was at this point I realized, over the past few months, many of you compared Crackheads to the Goat Simulator. Specifically, you said it was in a good way. Realized all this time I was fighting to be different than Goat Simulator, when I didn't have to be. I could embrace a lot of the core things that made the game great, like chaos and a sandbox where you could do basically anything you want. So, once I realized Crackheads was basically just Goat Simulator with drugs, I could finally see the vision, and I started to relax actually. I would create a living, breathing, immersive world, throw the player in, and give them a ton of stuff to do, letting them create their own fun and experience. Well, to do this, I started with the traffic system. Basically created interconnecting nodes for all of the roads in one direction, and then the other. This led to me needing to add more roads, which, in general, I'm very happy with. I figured instead of a complex GTA-style traffic system, for a game like this, I could get away with no real stops for cars. If they run into something, they back up, and they try to reach their closest waypoint, which works surprisingly well. If they get stuck for too long, they just blow up, which deals with any traffic jams effectively. Why can't we do this in real life? Next, I created a basic NPC, which uses a behavior designer system from the Unity store that I bought. This brought my NPCs to life without much difficulty. I decided I would have 3 types of civilian NPCs. Ones that stood still, ones that patrolled, and ones that moved across a large set of paths over the map. Within this civilian behavior, it's quite simple. They react to gunshots or violence nearby, and this is considered to be a threat. They then run away and cower. They then attempt to return to their journey. It was basically very 2 basic states. Idle, a state in which their behavior would be basically whatever you would normally be doing, and a response to threat. How do they respond to a threat? It turns out this system works for all NPCs in my game as the project continued to grow. So now I had civilians, but I needed some police. And this was tricky. So when you do enough crimes, we spawn a police car. That police car knows the location the crime took place, and the faction of whoever committed that crime. We'll get more into factions later. So the police car then communicates with the traffic system to use the waypoints to reach the location of the crime. Once they either spot the faction that committed the crime on the way, or reach the scene of the crime, they plot a new waypoint, which is basically the location of the criminal if they see you. This often leads to police cars slamming into you at full speeds, which I really enjoy. In addition to that, a police officer pops out. Well, police officers use the same civilian backbone. The only difference is how they respond to a threat. You see civilians respond to a threat by running away. Police respond to a threat by running to the source of the violence to beat up the criminal. After a police officer is deployed from the car returns to traffic and attempts to exit the map. This was actually quite challenging, but I think it came out really well, and I think it allows for some expansions in the future, like a sort of GTA star system, which progressively gets more intense with the army showing up and whatnot. I always really liked that in GTA Vice City when the tanks showed up, but for now this is great. Then to continue to grow this world and make it feel more alive, I wanted to have warring gangs. I always love in games when you come across some type of situation that doesn't involve you in any way at all. So I created the faction system. So far we have civilians, cops, meth heads, crackheads, players, and of course, bears. Meth heads and crackheads would basically kill each other on sight. They fight in the street, they fight in the woods. Crackheads come from one side of the map, while meth heads come from the other, and they both have like a home base. And they tend to stay in larger numbers, which leads to larger battles breaking out. Often, sometimes this alerts the police as well, and they join in the chaos. All of a sudden, we start to see this immersive situation breaking out at random all over the map. After I had warring gangs, I wanted to make it a way so gang members could negatively affect the player, other than just killing you. This led to my emergent boss system. How this works is, as gang members kill each other, or cops, or you, everything drops some kind of money or items, whether it's machetes, hammers, or batons. Every item has a value. Gang members then pick up any item around them automatically. The more the gang member has, the stronger they become. This leads to some rather strong boss gang members patrolling around the map, or even packs of them. Killing them drops all their item values, so they are far more difficult, but the payoff is much better. I love this system, and I think it needs more work, but we'll continue that in the future. After that, I redid some boring stuff, like making it so I can add new weapons into the game really quickly, and new types of consumables really fast, and I added the following weapons: machete, copper pipe, baton, hammer, wrench, shotgun, SMG, sniper rifle, rat gun, and saw blade gun. I also added raw meat. Well, I needed something to drop the meat then, so I added bears. And bears basically patrol and kill everything they see, even cars. Then I added deer, which needed a new type of fear response. You see, everything in the game responded from a reaction to something that was violent, whereas deer would just become afraid with anything they see. They take it as a threat. Now, with the raw meat, I wanted to add cooking, but that hasn't come yet. That's a future thing. In addition, I created panhandling stations, which are basically passive money-making stations that you can set up anywhere to start earning cash. Well, like I said before, gang members can steal everything from you, so you do have to keep an eye out. With that being said, we moved into Beta 2 with huge success. I watched people play for 4 hours straight in some cases, and it's incredible to think that there's already enough to do to keep people happy for that long. Which reminds me, I also added some unlockable hats around the map, as well as sacred bean cans, which you can collect, like trophies in Goat Simulator. Anyways, Beta 2 had much higher ratings on the feedback forum, and it was clear to see I was moving in the right direction. As we move forward to Beta 3, here are my goals. More stuff to do. That's it. More weapons, more drugs, more stuff to spend money on, more animals, more weird situations, and as always, listening to your guys' feedback to make this game something incredible. If you guys want to support Crackheads, you can wishlist it at the link below, or join my Discord to be in the next beta, which is in less than a month from now. As always, this has been Seth O'Dale Studios. Bye.